do it!
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Meghan Jacquier, a life coach who is passionate about intentional living in interiors. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. Today I want to talk with you guys about inspiration, mainly the why, how, and the other how. Why we need it, how we find it, and how we use it. Let's start by defining inspiration. So inspiration is anything that stimulates us, be it mentally or creatively, however you take it. And it is an active process. It's not something that can just kind of passively happen to you. If you're just passively watching the world go by, you're just not going to be inspired by much. And that's why if you're here watching this video, you might not be feeling that much inspiration in your everyday life. It's a very active process, and life, at least modern life, is designed to make us all very passive in how we deal with things. There are actually a lot of benefits of inspiration. It makes you more determined and committed to something. It can help open those creative processes for you, make you a better problem solver. But honestly, the number one benefit is an open mind and the ability to see more possibilities. So let's move on to talking about how we find inspiration. I mean, number one, the internet, right? It's phenomenal what we have access to nowadays. Google is your best friend no matter what you're interested in. But for me specifically, I actually find a lot of inspiration online on Pinterest. I feel like I've pinned so much that the algorithm really knows me, and I get served a lot of content that aesthetically I love. And it just gives me so much inspiration to get on there and look at things. I'll put my link below if you guys wanna follow along with me on the things I'm pinning and the different ideas I have, but it definitely gives me so much inspiration. Instagram is also a great source of inspiration. Instagram is also a very troublesome source of inspiration at times, so I guess proceed with caution. Another great source of inspiration that I was treated to recently was the Utah Valley Parade of Homes. So this is an event that happens once a year here in Utah Valley, and a bunch of designers and builders get together and they basically make a showcase house. And it's so much fun to walk around and check things out. I get so much inspiration from this every year, looking at houses that are totally my style and things I want to steal, and also some inspiration on things that are just. The Parade of Homes is such a great resource for finding things that you like, finding things that you love, finding resources to actually put those things in your own home. And we love to go together and look at homes that are totally up our alley and something that we would love, and also things that aren't. Sometimes it's better to go to unusual sources to be inspired, things that you wouldn't normally think fit, because you never know how you might feel inspired and be able to adapt those things to be more of what you like. There's really no rules about how to find inspiration or what qualifies. So I'd love it if you left a comment down below letting me know where you get your inspiration and what sources you use before we start talking about 3 ways to find more inspiration. Okay, so if you landed on this video, it's probably because you're not feeling that inspired in your life right now. That's totally normal. Again, modern life is not designed to inspire us, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible. You just need these 3 quick tips that are going to help you find more inspiration in the things you're already doing. So the first is make a move. Just shake up your routine a little bit. Get out of your comfort zone. Going back to the Parade of Homes example, I don't normally traipse through multi-million-dollar homes, but once a year I have the opportunity to, and I take that opportunity and I love it and I get so much out of it. We love looking back on past parade homes, past years, and comparing designers and contractors and builders as their styles evolve and grow. So it's a great way to kind of see outside of what's normal for yourself without necessarily having to go crazy. But I know that people find just inspiration in so many places. Traveling is another great way to be inspired. It's not always an option. So even just like checking out a new part of your city or a new restaurant or a new book, there's just so many ways that you can be inspired, but it does take that little step beyond where you normally are. The second way that you can find more inspiration in your life is to make sure that you're staying in learning mode. It's really easy to feel like you've learned a lot of lessons and you know more. That comes with age, and that wisdom is hard earned, and I don't mean to discredit it, but there is such a huge value to staying open to learning and adapting and trying new things. No matter what level of success you get to, no matter how established you are at some point, there's always going to be more to learn and to grow, a new way to do something that you've maybe never seen before. And so staying open to that and learning from others is huge. Plus, lifelong learning is great for your brain health. The third way that you can find more inspo in your life is by actually limiting your choices. And I know, that sounds a little counter to what we're talking about, but trust me, it works. When we moved into this place, it was already 3 times larger than our New York apartment and way too big, or so we thought, for us. But it also had a completely unfinished basement. After 2 years, we decided we were ready to tackle that project, and we had some weird things to work around. They had put like the main water line right in the middle, not attached to like any wall. It just didn't make any sense. And there was some really weird restrictions on where they had put the beams to support the first floor, and just like slightly off from one another. So like that. Anyway, it ended up being great for us. It ended up being some of my favorite features. Because of those 2 little things, I have a little closet for my Dyson in our storage room, and we were able to offset a door in a hallway so it wasn't quite just like 5 white doors staring at you. And it also created the space that we now use for our kids' playroom. So one of our favorite spaces. If we hadn't had these limitations to work around, we wouldn't have needed to be more creative and solve those problems and look for sources of inspiration to see what we could do around them. So the last thing I promised you was some inspiration on how you can better use inspiration. I really like to think of inspiration like Newton's law. Quick reminder that an object at rest will stay at rest, an object in motion will stay at motion. If we have to go out and find our inspiration, that's action, that's motion. And we will keep finding more inspiration, acting on that inspiration, finding more inspiration, acting on that inspiration, and that cycle will just continue and continue. Remember, the second part of that Newton's law that I mentioned is an object in motion will stay in motion unless acted upon by outside force. So we know that there are those outside forces. I can definitely think of some things that get in the way of my inspiration. Kids, Netflix, sleep, kids. Even with those things, it's just a matter of knowing your priorities, knowing your values, and letting those guide where you're putting your energy and resources. One way I think is really helpful with doing this is not just relying on those online sources for inspiration. Yes, they're great, but how many times have we all heard stop pinning and start doing? And how many times have we actually started doing? It can be really hard sometimes just to act because we saw an inspirational picture or a quote. But if we go out in the world, if we put in that little bit of extra effort to lace up our shoes, get out the door, go to a museum, go to a new restaurant, go to a new part of the city, make a new friend, any of those kinds of things, if we just expose ourselves to new things, if we just are open to new ideas and looking for that inspiration, that little bit of extra effort is going to carry through to a lot more dedication to the end result. And that's also going to help you stay on that cycle of finding more inspiration, acting on that inspiration, finding more inspiration, acting on that inspiration. It's just a matter of building that habit and not just letting the day-to-day run you over. And that's why I always talk about intentional living. It's about living intentionally each day with the time that you're given. We've all got 24 hours, right? What are you gonna do with it? Where are you gonna put your energy? What do you want? If you're feeling ho-hum, if you're feeling disconnected, if you're bored, you might be looking for more inspiration. And if that's the case, then I hope that you will take some of this advice. Go out, find a new source of inspiration, get outside of yourself, be open to learning, be open to new experiences. Set some boundaries for yourself at the same time. Consider what your budget might be. Consider your own personality traits and what is a better fit for you and what is maybe less of a good fit for you. Maybe if you're really shy, going out and making a new friend isn't the best way for you to find inspiration. Maybe reading a new book is if you're more of an introvert. So always considering those things and coming up with an exact plan that's going to work for you is always what's going to be best. I encourage you to take a few minutes after you watch this video. Don't just start the next one like YouTube always does. Go ahead and take a moment. Write down some ideas of where you can find better inspiration that will work for you. I really hope you liked this video and that it, well, inspired you to find some more inspiration in your life and to take that journey more seriously. If you like this video, please go ahead and like and subscribe. It really does make a big difference as a new creator in helping my channel grow. That's all I've got for you this time, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Loose, 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 loose.